Yo, what's up, guys? Past Daily Hottakes. I've decided that I'm not gonna do this. Doing on weekends. I'm gonna do it during the week. Um, and today, first of all, congratulations to the Toronto Raptors, the country of Canada, the city of Toronto. It's your first NBA championship. Enjoy it. I saw the parade today. It looks like everybody's having a great time. As you should. Again, your first championship. Excuse me, your first championship. Enjoy it. Um, yeah. But what I want to talk about is the Raptors' chances of repeating. And usually when people win a title, the first thing that everybody wants to know is, well, can you repeat? Right? But I haven't heard anybody talking about that. For the Raptors. Maybe it's because the stories have been the Warriors injuries, or they were hurt. And then the story was, the Anthony Davis LeBron thing. And I feel like that the fact the Raptors have won a title has been forgotten. Obviously not by Canada and not by Toronto, but in America. I feel like it's been forgotten literally in 5 days. I don't think, and then everybody think it's it's a one-off thing. Next year, the Lakers will be here. Some people think, the Warriors will come back and do something. Some people think the Sixers. Some people think the Bucks. But I don't think anybody is really talking about the Raptors' chance of the repeat, and I think that's disrespectful. I think the Raptors have a really, really good chance of repeating. This Raptors team reminds me a lot of, now this is just me, those early 90s Bulls teams. Obviously, you have, the Kawhi and Mike similarities, but the thing about Kawhi and Jordan is I think Kawhi is actually a better perimeter defender than what MJ was. For one, he's bigger, longer, hands are bigger. MJ is a better athlete, but still, when it comes to scoring, obviously MJ is a better scorer than Kawhi, but I think a lot of that is because of athleticism. What people don't know is that Jordan had a 48-inch vertical. Kawhi has a 30-inch vertical. Like I mentioned on Hoops and Brews, when everybody wanted him to rise up and just shoot that shot over two people for the championship. I mean, Kawhi has a 30-inch vertical. Kawhi can't really just jump over people and just shoot the ball. He has to, get to a spot and, use a move or use some deception, to get his shot off. As far as Mike, it's 48-inch vertical. I can just jump up, hang in the air longer than you, and shoot that bitch. What are you going to do? I'm just an athletic freak. But thing I really want to hone in on, I think that Pascal Siakam draws a lot of similarities to early Scottie Pippen. But 1989, 1990, 1991 Scottie Pippen. The 72 and 10 Bulls, the MVP year Scottie Pippen, that's not the Scottie Pippen that was, the 1990, the 91 and 92 Scottie Pippen. I think that at that point in time, Scottie was largely a transition player. His shot wasn't what it was later on. I think he was largely a transition player. His post game wasn't what it was later on either. And I think that Siakam right now is largely a transition player. Now his post game is decent. He's a good finisher, but I think that Siakam is best when he gets out in the break. Right now he's also a member of the halfback dive crew. Him and Giannis. If they can't get in transition or just do halfback dives to the rim, sometimes they struggle to score. I think that Siakam needs to improve his in between game. And I think that if he does improve his in between game, it'll be pivotal to one for Kawhi to be able to get some rest. Because right now, if you need a go-to bucket on the team, you're really going to Kawhi. I mean, Lowry can also get you a bucket here and there, but I feel like the person you trust overall before anybody is Kawhi. And he's really the only person you really. I mean, you can go to Fred too, but still, if I need that bucket, I'm probably going to throw the ball to Kawhi and move out his way. So I think that if Siakam can become a guy that you can also throw the ball to and move out his way, it'll even help Kawhi preserve his body. Because what I saw later on in the playoffs, I saw Kawhi labor a lot. I mean, there was a play that was it was a dunk in which Kawhi stutter stepped and then dunked. I think it was game 3 or game 4. I think he went up on Looney. He stutter steps. You could tell that he was kind of laboring and favoring that knee or favoring that quad, whatever. So I think that repeating is a real possibility. Again, I think that Siakam needs to go in the gym and get him an in-between game. Also, I think Lowry has at least 2 or 3 more years left in him, left at an all-star caliber type level. Fred VanVleet, I think he's next in line of that. That Jason Terry, that JJ Barea, that Vinny the Microwave Johnson, even that Tony Kukoc. Guys as meaning like guys that come off the bench, and when they come off the bench, they're probably the best player on the court when those two teams when them and the opponent's team matches up. Like for the Bulls, I mean, Kukoc did start a lot, but when he did come off the bench, like Kukoc is probably better than every bench player that the Bulls would match up against. So was Vinny the Microwave Johnson for the most part. So was Jason Terry. Even in some games, so was JJ Barea. So was Lamar Odom. So I think that Fred is in like that kind of mode. And again, he's young. He's gonna get better. And one thing that I think that everybody is discounting is OG Anunoby. He had like a appendectomy before the playoffs started, so he didn't play. But it's not like he was like hurt with like an injury. It's not like you tore something, or you had like knee surgery, or you had some. That's like more of a health concern than like an injury. So you assume that with him going into the off season, that he can get you a healthy off season. He can come back and give you something. And before Kawhi even came here, like OG was expected to produce and be the small forward of the future. Like that's what they brought OG in here for. In college, he tore his ACL, so he dropped in the draft. But if he didn't tear his ACL, he probably ended up being like a top, definitely a lottery pick. If I'm not mistaken, he was picked like 21st. But again, if he doesn't get hurt, he's probably a lottery pick. But again, I think that like these guys on this team, they aren't over the hill. Again, they're older, but they're more so veterans. Even I think Gasol got at least like a year or 2 left in him. I think Serge got a couple more years left in him. Danny Green got some years left in him. Like all of them have like at least 1 or 2 more runs left in them. And again, I think that this is like kind of similar to the East when Mike retired. Like the Raptors have always been that team that's right there, but they just couldn't get past Cleveland and LeBron. There's no Cleveland and LeBron, and you add Kawhi. So basically what they did this year is what they were supposed to do. They got to the finals, and, they happened to pull out a victory and win it. But they were, like, when you look around at the East and you see LeBron left, the team that was set up to, like, slide in that slot was the Raptors. Just like in 93, 94, the team that was set up to slide in that slot was the Knicks. Like, realistically, what should have happened. And again, I think that this team draws a lot of similarities to that Bulls team. Like, I think that, Kyle Lowry is like that. Now, granted, his NBA career is better than Horace Grant, but I think that he has a very, like, similar Horace Grant type role on this team. I mean, you even saw in 94, 95. It wasn't so much that Mike was rusty. What you saw happen was they just didn't have Horace Grant. Like Horace Grant played on the Magic. They didn't have that 4-man. They didn't have that, that third guy. I think that Lowry has a lot of similarities to what Horace Grant was on that Bulls team. Now, obviously, he's had a better NBA career and is probably a better individual player. But still, I think he has a lot of similarities to Horace Grant. And again, man, like I think that everybody's just really, really discounting this Raptors team. I think that if Kawhi stays, which I think Kawhi will stay, I hope he stays. He'll probably do something like a 2-year deal with a player option for year 3. But I think that, him seeing like all the love that the city is giving him, all the love that really the whole country is giving him, winning the ring, being around those guys, having veterans, being a leader of that team. Also having Nick Nurse, man. Nick Nurse really impressed me. Like, Nick Nurse is a guy that eventually we're going to have to start having some conversations about Nick Nurse being the best coach in the league. Eventually. I'm not going to do it yet. It's only been 1 year. But, I mean, I think it's safe to say Nick Nurse outscoached Steve Kerr. And depending on what you think of Steve Kerr, I mean, obviously he's one of the best coaches in the league. Like, I don't care what abundance of talent you have, you still have to coach him. And he outcoached Steve Kerr. So again, I think that this team draws a lot of eerie similarities to those early 90s Bulls team. And again, Pascal Siakam is my guy, man. I need Siakam to go in the offseason and get an in-between game, because I think if Siakam is a guy that can push I think he averaged 16.9 this year, and every year he goes to improve. So I think realistically next year it's realistic to think that he could average about 19 and 20 points. And I think that that's what this Raptors team needs. I think that Lowry needs to stay around the 14 to 8 range, and I think that Siakam needs to get his point total up to about 19 and 20. And also that takes pressure off Kawhi, and you're able to even better preserve Kawhi even in the playoffs, because he doesn't have to exert as much effort to win certain games that he might have to if Siakam doesn't have an in-between game. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna spend too long on it today, but I just wanted to put this thought in everybody's mind. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you had the AD news. Everybody's talking about free agency with all these moves, and I feel like the Raptors winning the championship, especially because it's in Canada, it's not even in America. It's been kind of like forgotten about in 4 to 5 days, and everybody has the Lakers are the favorites, or the Bucks gonna be there, the Sixers are gonna be there. What about the Nets? But I'm telling you, man, I think the Raptors have a really, 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 really good chance to repeat. They have a great mix of young guys and old guys. They have probably one of the best bench players in the NBA. They got OG Anunoby coming back. He didn't even play. Norman Powell looked great. I think Norman Powell has the confidence. And also I think beating the Warriors and beating them the way they beat them gives them confidence. Like, it's hard to knock off a championship team, especially a team that like the Warriors. I mean, like, it's not like, yeah, everybody got hurt, but they still won by 1 point. Like, if Steph hits that shot, we go to Game 7, and you go to Game 7, again, it's the one-game elimination. You have no idea what's going to happen in Game 7. That's why March Madness is so crazy, because it's just one game. Somebody tweak an ankle, somebody sprain a thumb, somebody sprain a knee, somebody get hit the wrong way, and now they got to go to the sidelines for like 2 minutes. You never know what could happen. So they only won by 1 point. So even though they had all these injuries, it still was a very, 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 very close final series. Like, they had to gut out that win. So I think that winning it the way they won it, it'll give them a sense of confidence and gives them it'll give them a sense of affirmation and a sense of strength, that I think that when they take that into the playoffs next year with the battles they've been through, coming behind on the Bucks, beating the Sixers in 7, I think that they are extremely battle-tested. Like, they are battle-tested, all of those guys. So I think that next year when they get to the playoffs, like, if this team is still together and if this team is healthy, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, man. And again, ain't nobody really talking about it. Ain't nobody speaking on it. Everybody thinking Kawhi is already out the door. Again, I don't think he is. I think he stays. I hope he stays. But I'm telling you, man, do not sleep on the Raptors repeating. Don't do it. Don't sleep on it. This team draws a lot of similarities to those early 90s Bulls teams. So again, don't sleep on the Raptors repeating. Like I said, I'm not going to spend too long on it. Like I also said, I'm not going to do these on weekends. I'm going to do these during weekdays. Shout out all you guys who listen to it. If you ever want to discuss any of my takes, just, hit me up. I'm very, very easy guy to find. I'm always down for a healthy basketball discussion. So yeah, again, appreciate all the support. Make sure you guys go wish TPJ a happy birthday. And until next time, Pav's Daily Hot Takes. And again, don't sleep on the Raptors.